Hey everybody, it's Matt Gary back here again with Gary'sGuides.com, and today I'm going to show you how to get 100% on the hidden farm ranking menu for Harvest Moon 64. So first I had to explain what the farm ranking menu is. In Harvest Moon 64, in the Japanese version, the farm ranking menu was actually always there, was part of the game. However, for some reason, the developers decided to cut it from the North American version. But it actually still remains, and it's fully translated. This kind of was figured out first by someone by the name of Kala HM. I hope that's how you pronounce it, not sure. On the Harvest Moon 64 game FAQs board about 5 years ago. He discovered it and developed a Game Shark cheat to open it up. Then myself, with the help of, with a lot of help from Zoinkity on Assembler Games forums, was actually able to create a ROM hack that opens the farm menu so that you don't have to use a Game Shark cheat code. So I'll be putting a download to the ROM hack in the description here, and I'll also send you a link to the original discovery and the Game Shark code, so you can use the Game Shark code if you prefer. You know, if you're on a normal system rather than emulation. So, the Harvest Moon ranking system. What is it? Basically, it's a way to gauge your completion of the game. Something that would have really been nice back when it came out. Maybe you could have figured out what was important a little easier back then. But basically, it breaks down into several things. So, to get 100% completion, you have to do the following. Number 1, you must have all Bachelorette and Bachelor affections maxed out at 255. If you don't know what affection is, I'm going to pop up a link now so that you can check out the video I have explaining exactly what affection is. You also need to have your child's affection maxed out at 255. You have to have your horse and dog affection maxed out at 255. You have to have all 8 of your barn stalls filled and have all 8 of your barn animals' affections maxed out at 255. You have to own 6 chickens. You have to ship 99,999 crops. Ship 9,999 eggs. Ship 9,999 bottles of milk. Ship 999 fish. And have 999,999 gold collected. You also must have collected all 10 of the red power nuts. The blue one doesn't matter. You can just bypass it. It's really good for nothing. You know, but you can collect it if you want. You also must collect all 16 photos, collect all 35 recipes, and have all 6 home extensions. You also must have the entirety of your outdoor farmland be covered in grass, all 480 squares, and you have to have your happiness level maxed out at 255. If you don't know what happiness is, I'll pop up a link now. You can check out my video covering exactly what happiness is and how it works. So yeah, that's it. That's quite a bit. It takes quite a long time, and you have to do this the legitimate route, unless you want to go through a lot of ROM hacking, I guess, or, you know, cheat code engine, that kind of stuff. Look for the correct bytes. There's several bytes that are actually flipped during certain events. I'm not going to go into them, but basically if you use the Game Shark cheat to, say, have a baby and max out his affection, there's bytes that don't get flipped, so certain percentages will get messed up, and you won't, you know, ever see that completion 100% done. So there's a couple other things I want to mention about the farm's ranking menu. A couple of things I think is these two reasons are why they left it out of the game. The first thing is that you can't actually get 100% completion. You can only ever get 99% completion. This is due to a truncation error for a float that basically, if you don't know what float truncation is, just Google it. It's kind of hard to explain in this small video about Harvest Moon, but basically they added the numbers, and the way that float truncation works, when you get 100%, it's actually going to cut it down to 99, so you'll never see 100% on the farm completion menu. Number two thing, occasionally the menu will actually stop calculating. I don't know why this is, but occasionally it'll stop. If you another thing I've noticed, if you have two farms named the exact same thing, the calculation will stop for both of them. So don't ever copy your farm to another file or anything like that, because your calculations will end right there. I think that's it. I think that's the major things you need to know about it. I will also put up a link to a very, very detailed breakdown of exactly how much of a percentage each thing is worth in the game. I'll put that in a link below. I considered going through it in this video, but it's yeah, it's a lot of words you don't want to hear, I'm sure, unless you're really interested. So you can check that out. I'll put that below as well. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and should you be interested, we have a Harvest Moon 64 player's guide available. You can purchase it digitally on iTunes Store. I will put a link up to it now, and if you have any questions, make sure to leave them below. And if you want more Harvest Moon 64 videos or retro game guide videos in general, make sure to subscribe. I promise there'll be a lot more to come.